You guys might as well just give me some stone tablets, a long stick, and call me Moses, because I'm about to drop some esoteric knowledge on you. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Moondays with Michael. I'm your host, the Raw Drinker Michael, and I am cutting out the esoteric middleman and giving you the tools you need to connect yourself right to the source. Welcome back to the series known as Bible Study, where we're breaking down different passages, ideas, concepts, and events in the Bible and giving you a whole new perspective on how to look at those stories, ideas, and concepts and everything that I just said. Now, obviously, it's the Bible, and there's a lot of things that we could break down in this, and I don't really have the time to go and do that in one singular video, so we're not going to do that, but we're going to talk about the main importance of the book of Exodus, aka the book of Shemot, the book of names. So without any further ado, the whole reason why the book of Exodus exists and the main point of it, the departure of the Jews from Egypt. Well, Jews leaving Egypt to go get lost for 40 years. It's the whole thing. How do you get lost for 40 years, dude? We all know the story of Exodus. Give you a little quick recap of the book of Exodus. Long story short, after Joseph and his family went down to Egypt, which in the beginning of Exodus is named, which is part of the reason why it's called the book of Shemot, the book of names, because he's named, first part of the book, and the whole story of Egypt and the Jews involves the Pharaoh forgetting Joseph's name, book of Shemot, the book of names. We're getting into it. Once that happens, Pharaoh, who forgets about Joseph and why the Jews were there in the first place, because they were saviors at the time when Joseph came down, turned the Jews into slaves, because, I mean, why not? Pharaoh was afraid of the Jewish people revolting and becoming free. So what did he do? Went, killed all the firstborn, blah, blah, blah. One survived, named Moses. Long story. Burning bush. Moses meets God. God tells him to go free the Jewish people. He frees the Jewish people. And the whole plagues, 10 commandments, river, get lost in the desert for 40 years. But what is the whole damn point of the Jewish people leaving Egypt in the first place? Because obviously we could go through all of those different events and actually break down what each one means. So what is the whole point of the departure of Egypt? Well, it's very simple. Astrology, bitch, and the understanding of your own individual energy. So if you look at it like this, while the Jews were in Egypt, the whole thing was that they weren't allowed to practice their own religion, which is what you do when you have slaves. Take away their individuality. Egyptians were enforcing their own religious ideas onto the Jews. They have gods for everything. The sun, the moon, the earth and the sky, the underworld, the dead. So what happened? They left behind different gods that represented different planetary energies. The sun, which was Ra, Mercury, which was Thoth. They left behind all those astrological energies. The whole understanding of your own individual energy when you come into the solar system. The system your soul goes into. Why? Why? They went to the understanding that the whole universe, the whole solar system, the whole reason that they were there was because of a singular God, a whole singular deity, which don't even get me started about the origin of that deity. The whole book of names, the whole name of Elohim and all that goes back to different Sumerian and Canaanite freaking religions anyway. So yeah, what were we trying to do with that one? Think we didn't figure that out? Because I figured it out. Now, let's be clear on one thing. Astrology isn't really important to 7th, 8th, and 9th dimensional beings. They kind of leave that behind. It's more of a 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional understanding because you are now that influence. However, if you're a 3rd dimensional being trying to understand astrology, it makes it easier to actually go into the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension and actually understand those influences and become one of those influences. If a being takes that away from you, how exactly are you going to get into those influences when you have no idea how to influence things in the first place?
Okay, yeah, you got a point.
When you don't understand the influences around you. Now, mind you, influences don't mean shit unless you're going to use it. But if you're not using it, how are you going to know about it? That's the whole point. So instead of actually understanding their own individual energy, understanding the energy of what was around them in their surroundings and the influences that they were using, now they're serving a singular being, which is a demon for a whole bunch of reasons. The one thing that it excels at is getting people led astray and not having an understanding of their own individuality. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of the main point. You take away that, and anybody will follow you at that point. Really, I have no understanding of my own individual self, so I might as well just go follow that being that tells me that I have to go and not mix meat and dairy because milk and life and death. The whole point of this is that if you get a bunch of people who won't understand the influences going around them, understanding their own individuality and understanding their own energy in their surrounding, then you can pretty much get them to follow you and do whatever you want.
It's as a demon.
So I mean, yeah, that's pretty much the summary of why the whole book of Exodus or the book of Shemot is important in the first place. If you don't really understand yourself, then you can go ahead and follow some other being that will tell you exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And that'll make you weak and led astray and keep coming back here into some monkey-ass circumstances, which, let's be real here, I don't think anybody of us want to really do anymore.
Nope.
Because it kind of sucks. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to know a little bit more about the whole Bible study little situation we got going on, check out the videos over there. But until next time, bye y'all.